That brings us to the turbulent years of the 1960s. Both triumph and tragedy marked this tumultuous decade.
Catch a wave and you're sitting on top of the world. Don't be afraid to try the greatest sport around. Catch a wave, catch a wave. Tries it once. Those who don't just...
Some of you were around on that tragic day of November 22nd, 1963 at 12:30 p.m. What happened on that day? That was the day and time when President Kennedy was shot. Lyndon B. Johnson was immediately appointed our president, and he ushered in what he called the Great Society, seeking to accomplish reform on a very broad scale. His presidency was a difficult one because of the war in Vietnam, a war he inherited. Towards the end of the decade, protest rallies began taking place throughout America.
During the 1960s, we saw the rise of a counterculture, and youthful rebellion hit an all-time high, especially toward the end of the decade. The focus of the rebellion seemed to be toward everything that was near and dear to their parents and forefathers, and both the appearance and the lifestyle of many young Americans brought sorrow into the hearts of older people. Young people wanted to escape the establishment, and one method was through the use of drugs. Along with this new culture came a new form of music, which had migrated from England. The British invasion brought with it new hairstyles, wardrobe, and lingo.
Well, sports enthusiasts gained a new annual ritual as the very first Super Bowl began in 1967.
Meanwhile, a young black minister from Alabama was voicing a dream of many in America.
This nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
I have a dream became the mantra of many during the dark days of racial segregation and suppression. America, it seemed, was trying to rediscover its identity as Martin Luther King voiced those now famous words. The assassinations of Dr. King, President John F. Kennedy, and Robert Kennedy added to the confusion experienced by Americans.
Triumph in America and the world occurred on July 20th, 1969, as everyone rejoiced with Neil Armstrong took.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.